I basically came from a background of church musicians and singers. I would lend myself or gravitate to music in such a fashion that I just couldn't get enough.
That's peace.
And I grew up with, of course, Motown, Stax record artists, and James Brown, people like that, Aretha Franklin. And that was the thing that really drew me into the arts. And very rarely did I see people that looked like me on television. But of course, as time progressed, you would see more and more black artists. And that really got me interested. In my teen years, performing in school, I was pretty much sought after to sing for different shows and things like that. And I really didn't have an idea of how good I was, but I was pretty decent. And I eventually got an opportunity to sing in church and in choirs and ensembles, and all of that was really like school. You know, I call it the training ground. And that training ground is the training ground that kind of like taught me, you know, what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. I watched the musicians in church. I watched how we prepared for performances, anniversaries, even just general Sunday services. And by the time I got ready and, you know, I had a band, I felt that I had an edge on many other people because I had some structure. And I appreciate the education, the hard knocks, the difficult times, the uncertainty, because I got a lot out of it. But, you know, when I finally did the casting calls and all the rest of that, I did have a band.
Long before I was a speaker, music was my first love. It truly was. And my family came from music, so it was only natural that I would lend myself, as I'll probably share with you a little bit more about that later. But I began to meet many artists that I wouldn't have expected to, but I was so grateful to have met them, not from a fan perspective, but from an educational perspective. I'm talking about people like F.R.E.E, who played keyboards with D-Train. You know, Fred had written a song for me. He had groups like Intrigue and other people like Jenny Burton he had written for. I think he had projects, I don't know if they all came through, but projects with like people like Stephanie Mills, many prominent artists at that time. And he was doing his own thing with his partner, whose name escapes me. But he wrote a song for me. I performed it at a showcase, and I was his banker at the time, actually. And he invited me down to a session with Jocelyn Brown. Before he invited me down, he played the follow-up for Somebody Else's Guy. And he played it, he hit the button. He said, "What would you do to this?" And I was stuck. I had no idea. Mr. Creativity, Mr. Music, Mr. Innovative, couldn't think of a hook, couldn't think of a verse, a line, nothing. And the next time I heard that song, it was on the radio with the rap version. So, you know, that's how it goes. But he invited me to the studio because Jocelyn was working on her follow-up to Somebody Else's Guy. And who else was there? Diana Ross and Arthur Baker. I think he was producing something for Diana Ross. And I'll never forget it because that was the day that Prince was working on, no, he was debuting When Doves Cry on MTV. So of course, when the debut came out and MTV was playing it, we all came out of our studios. I think we were in Studio B. We were in Right Track Studios on 48th Street. And we all stood around the TV and watched When Doves Cry. And, you know, it's just more, I guess, exposure to Prince's brilliance, and but that was a time that I'll never forget. And after the sessions, I had left, and Fred asked me, "Why did you leave?" I didn't want to stay around like a groupie. I wanted to feel like I had control over this opportunity, and not that it was just a one-shot deal. I was given an opportunity to be there, and I'm standing there like a groupie. I don't know. I just didn't want that feeling. I wanted to feel like I could walk away at any time because, after all, I was invited. Anyway, that was just one of many experiences that I had with people, and people in the business are really just regular people, but it's about building relationships. Just like with Paul Lawrence, Paul, he and I sang in church together, and then he went to do his own thing, and Freddie Jackson was working with him in his choir, and before you know it, of course, after a series of events, lots of preparation, lots of rehearsals and showcases, Freddie had his opportunity, and so did Paul. Who else can I tell you about? I can tell you about many people, but Ray Goodman and Brown. I remember their manager lived in the same building that I lived in, and he said that they were looking for an opening act. And of course, the best band you had never heard, I'm putting them up as the group to be the opening act. And I told him, I said, Fred, not Fred McFarlane, this is a different Fred. I said, Fred, I've got a band. He said, give me a tape. I got him a tape. And he told me in such a nice way, because I gave him one of them old cassette tapes. He said, well, this is not exactly what we're looking for. And if you know, Ray Goodman and Brown, formerly known as The Moments, are a soul R&B group, and our group was more of a soul, rock, pop, and that would not have been a good blend for that audience. So, that didn't work out, but I did go to the studio, met Al Goodman, Billy Brown, and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens used to be Luther Vandross's backup singer, and when Harry Ray left The Moments, Kevin filled in for Harry Ray on the parts that Harry would sing with The Moments, but they were currently known as Ray Goodman and Brown. Hey folks, Sir Charles Cary here, and I'm with some brothers that I've known for at least 40 years, off and on, different ones
plus,
of us.
40 plus.
And, it's just great to see people that you know for such a long time, and they are still alive, still in the game. One core member in particular that is not here at this moment, spiritually or otherwise, is our brother Ron Davis. This is really in memory to Ron, as well as the effort and the blood, sweat, tears, and education we all experience. So Ron, we love you, man, and we're going to talk about Ron a little more specifically later in the program. So I know for me, guys, I came into this group because I was working a part-time job, and I saw Daryl walking around with some instruments, and I was wondering where he was going, and I asked him, and he said, "Why? You a musician or something?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a singer."
That's where the magic happened. So the best band you'd never heard really is a magical experience that happened for me and many other people. We had so many people in and out the group until we finally got a core group. And the core group consisted of Ron Davis, myself, Easy D on bass, Louie Lou on drums, and Dorian Burkett on rhythm. And soon, Daryl left and Ernie would take over, Ernie Martin. But it was just a wonderful experience, and we kept rehearsing, practicing, preparing for that opportunity.
And I asked them where they was rehearsing. And I actually, after I got off work, I couldn't wait to get there because I was really curious. I couldn't get into the building because the building was locked, but I heard the music from the street. By the time I got in the building and got to the top floor, got to the roof, they were rehearsing. And they asked me what songs I knew. And the only thing I could think of was Kool and the Gang, Too Hot. And I tried my best to kill Too Hot. I wanted JT Taylor to know I was on his ass. So I did Too Hot. They looked at each other, said, "Yeah, You could be in. And you know,
Yeah,
that was the beginning of it all for me. So I was wondering, I know Ernie, you kind of came in when Daryl had to do some other things, but Daryl, how long were you in the
Yeah, I
band?
came in when Daryl had to do other things, and you know, it was interesting, you know, because I on the side I have listened to him and see and checked out what he was doing. I said, yeah, okay, that's some big shoes I'm gonna have to fill, you know, to myself. This
When
was
you got in the group, like, I mean, who was it? Was you and who else? Daryl?
well, when I first got in the group, it was me, Ron, Joe was the drummer, and Mark Davis was the guitar player.
But
But he asked us to jam with him,
you
and
know,
we was more than happy to start setting up.
you know, I've been in this thing for a minute, and I want to really give you some insight on why you're watching this documentary. I think there's a lot to learn, a lot to take from it, especially if you're an aspiring artist. But you know, let me go on with one more story, and then we'll get started. Carl T. Smith. Carl was a cousin to Ron. God bless the dead. Ron was our guitar player, and he passed some years ago. And he would always say, "My cousin Carl is doing this, and my cousin Carl is doing that." And we always wondered about Carl. And one day, Carl came to the rehearsal, and when he came to the rehearsal, we were excited. So, of course, we were on our best behavior, so to speak. We wanted the music to be right because you didn't know, would there be an opportunity? We wanted to be professional. We wanted to make a good impression. And lo and behold, Carl and I wound up being friends outside of the dynamics of me working with Ron. In fact, I've done several shows with Carl personally. I did a show with Carl at the Cotton Club. I've done shows with Carl at Cameo Hall and 57th Street. And, you know, I was taking my experience, my desire on another level, to a different trajectory, if you will. And, you know, again, all of this has paid off because I learned so much. How long have you been in the industry?
Oh man, that would be revealing my old age that I am right now, right? So,
We started when you was
um,
about 3 months old, so that's fine.
kinda, really, kinda, yeah. I think I really, as far as professionally, getting into professional stuff and studio and stuff, is had to been after high school. So it had to been from like 76 on, 1976 on. It had to been, that's when we kind of start. Uh, my friend Kevin and I, we linked up with a record company downtown, and we started doing productions for the company and producing acts and recording and all that other stuff and session work, and then from there on, it just kind of just kept going. It's just one big day, and up until today, it just keeps going and
Do,
going, like the Energy Bunny.
do you remember the name of the label? If can you say it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's Clarence Music Records.
So, what were some of your most memorable moments of jamming with the group, with the band? Whether it was the crew, 6D, Movin Heavy, the free band. What were some of your most memorable moments?
well, for
All right,
me,
well,
my
I
mem-
mostly played with Free. You talking to me or?
One at a
Yeah, I
time,
you
was
go
both.
ahead,
mostly what
Daryl.
started with Free, ended with Free. Yeah, I started with Free and ended with Free, but the block parties was the most exciting.
Yeah,
You know, we did a block party in front of Ron's house,
I
and
remember
that man
that.
kept stuffing money in my
Yeah,
pocket.
I remember that.
I remember that too.
and and man, that made my day. I mean, I was like, wow. You know, I'm glad it was appreciated. You
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. What about you, Ernie?
Yeah.
You know, I like I said, during that time, y'all was doing what y'all was doing. I was doing something else.
Right.
You know, I was playing in a rock group,
Okay.
and everybody tried to get me. You know, I used to catch some of those block parties and some of those little things that y'all was doing because Guitar Ed introduced me to Ron
Okay.
and whatnot,
Yeah.
and that's how that got started. And
All
then
right.
we moved from, and then the rest just became into. We just you know, we worked with you and Coffee, and I started working with Sonny and so many other people, you know, and like I said, you know, Daryl, I felt like I had to fill some big shoes when I stepped in there, and all of them.
I tell you, man,
Yeah.
some of the most memorable moments for me was the block party that we played around Louis' block. The whole group was there. Coffee, Dorian, I mean, everybody was there. And when Louis started playing his solo, just to hear all the kids screaming his name, because, you know, Louis was a DJ too. And he played with some pretty
Yeah.
prominent people back in the days,
Yeah.
in the early beginnings of hip hop. So to hear them scream his name was like a good feeling, because he was getting that love and that support, and we all part of that same thing. And we played all kinds of songs, but I remember the Celebrity Club, and we did a gig on 125th Street, which was our own gig. We weren't hired, but we put on our own event. That was a big one. And then we did a bank where I worked at the time. At the 371 Club.
Heavy at 371 at the time.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there's quite a few.
And I saw y'all there then. But at that time I was seeing y'all, but not, you know,
right,
as
part
a
of the group.
Participant.
Right.
You know, because these were my places that I hung out in, doing stuff with people that I had going at that time. Because I was working another R&B band at that time.
Well, let me read off really quick some of the different people that we had and associates. Some of the associates, I would say, of the group was Guitar Ed, and believe it or not, I'm even going to put down Stone Harmony. I felt they was trying to steal the band from me at that time.
Oh yeah.
And then
I heard that one in Wild. Stone Harmony.
I got flyers and everything, man. When this is all said and done, I want to give everybody their shine, because everybody had a part of what made us who we were. But we also had Antoine and Mark, and on percussion, James, Give Me Some Roy, Paradise. On vocals, we had myself and Sunny and Sunshine and Diane and Coffee and Ike, Naomi, Brenda. On guitar, we only had Ron Davis and Dorian Burkett. Daryl Easy D on bass. Some guy named Ron, I think, was a friend of, I don't know who he was a friend of, but he tried to fill when Daryl went to the military. And then, of course, Ernie. Then on drums, we had Joe, we had Davey Boy, we had Steve, as well as Louis. And we had quite a few different people that, you know, had come in and out of the group. And I mean, I like consistency, but, you know, from time to time, sometimes you just got to be ready for change, you know? So let me ask this again. I know I asked earlier, and we probably kind of remember some things, but Daryl, who were some of your influencers as it relates to bass playing when you were coming up?
Well, you know, Stanley Clark, Louis Johnson.
Okay.
Bernard Edwards.
Okay.
Man, there's so many, you know.
Nice.
And then I had a best friend named Damon Banks. You know, I meant to put him in the mix.
Okay.
I learned a lot from him.
Right.
And now he's a jazz musician, doing real good.
What about you, Ernie?
Yeah, man.
I love the same people: Stanley Clark, Victor Wolven. There's so many cats. Larry Graham. Of course, Bootsy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was a Bootsy fan to the max.
Oh
I love me some Bootsy Collins.
And it's funk. Are you, baby?
I was a Parliament Funkadelic fan hard. Parliament Funkadelic fan.
Oh yeah.
I love me some Parliament Funkadelic. I love the Santana. I love the Mandrill. You know, there's so many groups of that nature that I love. That was, you know, the Brother Johnsons. That was so. They influenced me on just so much.
I like Philip Bailey, of course, Michael Jackson. I like Jermaine too, but I like Howard Hewitt. I mean, just so many different people. The Whispers were definitely one of my top groups. I love their melodic style.
Yeah.
You know, as it relates to writing songs, I've been fortunate enough that I could think of lyrics that make sense and that are able to be repeated. And it's worked for me, and it still works for me. If it's meant to be, and if it's magic, it pops.
This is another thing. I like the way that we used to create, man. You know, when we created a song, it could be totally unintentionally, and just by accident, we get a full-fledged song just by somebody messing around with the guitar or something. In fact, let me just, I don't know if I read it, but we had over 20 songs collectively that we have written. I mean, from Perfect Love, Crazy Love, When Are You Gonna Love Me, Octaves Delight, Black Rock. I mean, you just name it, Get Together, Where Are the Girls, Movin' Heavy, Sad and Lonely. I mean, we really got into the thick of things. And that's another thing I like. I mean, I felt like a kid in a candy store and a toy store every time I went to rehearsal, because I get to put polish on what we already did, and who knew what we were going to create next. And it was really just a good feeling of doing something that innately is what God put in me, the ability to create. Here comes Louis. Oh, snap. There you go.
Louis.
Yo, I got a glimpse.
I got drums. What's poppin', y'all? What's going on, man? I've been bugging out.
Hey, well, look, bro. I remember when all of us was skinny. You know?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, we all puffed up.
But you know what, man? But you know what? God is good, because
no doubt.
You know, I still miss him to this day, man. And I think about Brother Ron, and since he passed away, since he moved on, you know, rest in power, man. I still cry sometimes, man.
Who were some of your influences as a musician, as a drummer? You know, what appealed to you when you started playing drums, especially with the band?
Wow, man. Gosh, you know what? I used to listen to a lot of Steve F.R.E.E. You ever heard of Steve F.R.E.E?
Have not.
Yeah.
Have not.
Do you remember that record they came out with when he was down with Average White Band, Pick Up the Pieces?
Okay. Okay.
Steve F.R.E.E on the drums, man. I was just watching them just the other day up on YouTube, man. But Steve F.R.E.E was definitely one of them who I looked up to a lot, because he was funky, man. I loved his style. I love the way he would tune up his drum, and he get that pop, that real tight pop on the snare. Pop, spot.
I was familiar with Buddy Miles and another guy named Buddy. I can't think of his name. White dude.
Oh, Buddy Miles.
Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich. Yeah.
He's mad old school, man.
Old school.
Well,
All right,
man.
Yo, what's up, dude?
I'm hanging in there, man. You know what? What made me late? I was actually, because I got a little recording studio here at home.
I see that.
And you can see this stuff in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got
I see the keyboards. I see the computer stuff.
Dude, I got drums here. I got all kinds of stuff in here, man. Electric drums, everything. But
you don't look so young no more.
Huh?
You don't look so young no more.
Yo, but you know what, man? As long as I'm alive, man.
I hear you, brother.
That's right.
Nah, that's a little joke, man. That's a joke, man. Because you was the baby and shit.
I used to be the baby of the band, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
All of y'all was babies under me. All of y'all was babies.
Let me ask Dorian and let me ask Louis this, because when D was on earlier, it wasn't recording. So I want to get, what were your influences, Dorian, when you started playing music, especially with the band? Who were your influences?
My influences were Jimi Hendrix.
And come on so we can see your face. We can't see your face, man.
Carlos Santana. And Sly.
Okay. And what all right.
I just lost the picture. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. Come on back. We're here for you. We're here for you.
Okay,
hey,
I hear that, but bring me what the hell? What happened?
You lost your video. You turned your video off by mistake.
I didn't touch nothing.
I believe you. I believe you. That's all I can say. That's all I got.
I hear you.
I'm not really sure. Let me see. Hold
So
on.
much stuff is going through my head right now, man. Where
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
Well, Louis, let me ask you this, Louis. What, how did you feel about the creative process when we would make a song, seemingly out of nowhere? Like how did you fall into that flow? What was that like for you?
Yo, I just had so much fun, man. The way we would just, I don't know, sometimes maybe Ron would just play rest in power, but he would like just strum a couple of things on his guitar, or even just say something that he made up, man. And Daryl starts blending in, playing his bass, and even Ernie, man, also as well, just come in and just start blending in, man, and making up stuff. And I would just wait, and when it started sounding better, a little better after a couple minutes, I just try to come up with a little something, blend in with the hi-hat, then come in with the kick, and then start coming in with the snare and try to come up with another song, man. And that's pretty much how we used to do it. That's how we did like Understand Me, When Are You Gonna Love Me?
You actually remember all the names and shit?
Yo, I don't have Alzheimer's, not this motherfucker. Yo, what else?
Did you realize that we had created over 20 some odd songs? And I read them earlier, but I'll read them again for prosperity's sake. Dance Lady Dance, Attitudes, Octave, Black Rock, Free
Attitude,
Time,
I remember that one.
Get Together,
Really,
Where
I
Are
had
the
to really
Girls,
stand it down
Movin
for 'em,
Heavy,
man.
Sad and Lonely, Understand Me, Sunshine, Blue, When Are You Gonna Love Me, Perfect Love, Finally Found the Right One, You, Feeling So Free. Oh, I remember this one from Dorian. It's about that time again, girl. You Are the One, Crazy Love. And I'm sure there's one or two more that I'm forgetting or just don't have on the list. And then the band members, we had over 20 different band members, percussionists, drummers, vocalists, in and out of the group, Stone Harmony, Guitar Ed, there were so many people associated with the F.R.E.E. band. And this,
right.
Maybe I shouldn't be surprised that we were one of the most loved unknown bands.
Yo, and we would jam wherever that.
Oh,
Hey.
I forgot about that time.
What happened?
Man, that was crazy.
Hey, yo, what
I remember
happened?
that.
What happened when Ron got married? He got hurt playing basketball or something? What was that?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember
I remember that.
I tore the fuck up. We got tore. We were drinking Bacardi.
We was drinking 371.
150 proof, Daryl? What was that, 151? 151. Oh. So he fell down, but he slid out his side and his face and everything.
Oh,
Falling out of the floor.
I got pictures from City when he got married in City Hall, man.
That was still cracking up off that shit. Yo, but he played a league game of ball. That was the night before when he got married. Yo, we got tore up.
Okay, listen, this is the part where the dramatic music comes in. So what was going on in your personal life at this time when you was with the band? Go, Ernie.
My personal life, I was married, 4 kids, and just trying to be a little bit of everything and working at the same time.
What about you, Papa D?
For a long time. 48
it depends
years
on
in the cab business.
what time you're talking about, because
In and out. Come on, man. Give me something. We need some
something
salacious.
Because I had moved to Brooklyn, and I don't know. I had my first son then, and I used to bring him to band rehearsal. He used to sit behind the drums because he was fascinated with the drums.
Okay.
I'm trying to let me see. I don't think I was working. I had moved to Brooklyn, and I used to come to rehearsals in my car. I remember one time we were sitting in my car smoking and shit, and the police had rolled up on us. And we rolled out the window to talk to them and shit. And they smelt it, and they was like, "Wow, what's going on in here?" and shit. And we were telling them that we was a band and shit, and they was cool about it.
Okay, Cops was kind of cool back then.
Yeah, it was cool, but I don't know. See, my association with Ron spanned years and years.
I was going to ask you about that too, because you knew Ron longer than the rest of us, to my understanding.
Well, we had met Um, we both were working for the Parks Department. We was on welfare. This was the rep program where you work for your check
Right.
and shit. And that's where we met.
Did you ever have any interaction with Ron as far as teaching him about guitar or working with them? Did you ever do anything together?
Um, well, Ronnie and I was close. That was. I mean, I grew up around Ronnie.
Mm.
Um, we would on occasions,
Mm-hmm.
talk about, do some music, talk about music and things like that. But most of the time, we get together. It's kind of like at a family function or something like that.
Right.
He was telling me that he had a band they were rehearsing to do something to play for somebody or something like that, and he kept asking me to come by, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll come by, and so I came by.
Right.
You know, um, I think at one point I was doing a little bit of music theory with the band. I think that you're talking about.
Okay.
Um, a few times and stuff like that. Matter of fact, yeah, it was because I helped them with a song, that Rodney Franklin Behind the Groove thing.
Okay. Yeah.
They were going to they were going downtown to audition for this woman Jan Berger.
Mm-hmm.
So I helped them with that, and it was a few little things like that.
Sure. Sure. It's just hard to believe that he's gone, man.
Yeah,
Um,
man, yeah,
I mean, I really can't put it into words. So I said, well, since we are all still here, let's talk about the free band. Let's talk about what we experienced, what we did, and let's try document it and put something out there. And everybody was on board, which I was glad. So I was
hmm
I was able to get the sign off by everybody. So I had to have you a part of this project because even though you didn't play in the band, it was important, because you're still a part of the history. There's a connection there. I mean, you inspired Ron. Who knows? Had you not inspired Ron and y'all were not related, he may not have been as driven. Because Ronnie always wanted to do something, always wanted to find a way of creating an event or for us to do something different. I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we did so many
yeah.
things, man. Look, we got paid and we got played.
It's part of the industry. It's part of the lesson. You
Yes,
know.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I have no regrets. I'm truly grateful for all of my experiences. It's been a wonderful ride. But one of the beauties that came out of that experience is that I got a chance to work with you directly. Yeah, I got a chance to work with the man.
Yeah, man, that's true. That's right. It was
Yeah.
good. Fun
And I mean,
days.
huh?
Fun days.
Yes, yes. I mean, downtown and midtown at the Cammy Hall on 57th, I think it was 57th
Wow.
Street. Yeah,
Going way back.
that was one of the first things, man. That was one of the first gigs, and I remember I had like a tailored suit. Someone had made a suit for me, like a long walking coat. And at the time, I had the Mandarin collar, and I had with a fade, a high top. I hated those hairstyles, but I got it one time, and I rocked my high
You
top.
got pictures?
I don't. I have a headshot. I have a headshot from when I got that haircut because I never liked those hairstyles. It looked okay on me, but nowadays when you look at it, people say, "Oh man, you look like Pookie," and they're probably right. It's all good though.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. But it was good, and what came out of that event at Cameo Hall, I had met some people that they didn't know what my life was like. They met me in a whole different industry, and because of them coming to that event, they were inspired to also pursue their musical dreams. And the guy would wind up being my son's godfather. So that was definitely a good experience. Not to mention, I mean, we did other events at the Cotton Club. The
yeah.
notorious world famous Cotton Club. I mean,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wish I had the pictures though. That's the one thing that I regret is with all the stuff that we've done, no one took pictures. We was all living in the moment at
Yeah,
at the time. We was all doing what we had to do and living in the moment, and no one took pictures.
yeah. How
Oh,
about that?
I wish we had these camera phones.
Look, it wouldn't be today because I got nothing but I got cameras all around, all kinds of cameras,
I
cameras on
I
my
wish.
phone. I love it. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. Again, so we're honored to have you as a part of this project, and definitely, I'm glad to have known you all these years because I got a chance to work not only within the band but outside of the band. Of course, I performed as a soloist before anyway, but I think as you get older, as you grow, you have more life's experience and more experience in your industry. It just makes you a better, stronger artist, a better and stronger man or person, and it gives you more insight to what you really want out of life. So, I really
Right.
enjoyed working with you, man. Definitely enjoyed getting to know you and doing business with you. So, man, I definitely thank you for your time. So now let's tell you a little bit more about the best band you've never heard. Daryl, what was going on in your personal life at that time, Daryl?
Um, I don't think I had a personal life, man. The band was my
I
life.
was a kid and shit.
Yeah, I was like 16 years old, still a virgin,
Okay,
still wet behind the ears.
okay, I
So
got
my
you.
life was pretty much wrapped around the band, and there was a singer that you didn't mention. I can't
Diane,
remember that girl. She was dark skinned.
Diane,
What you say?
Diane.
Was that her name?
You brought her
She
to the
had wrote a
rehearsal.
song. Yeah, I brought her to the rehearsal. But like I said, my life was, was basically revolved around the band. So I didn't really, I had a lot of fun,
And you,
but
Louis? What about you,
I didn't
Louis?
have no other life.
Man, there was so much going on with me, my personal life, the band. I was only 14 years old, man, when I got down with the band.
Yeah, I think I remember asking your mother for permission for you to hang out with us.
It probably did. It was either you or Ron, but I was only 14 years
Right.
old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Right.
at that time, man, I think Daryl was like 18 at the time when I first met him.
16.
Okay.
16.
I
I
was
mean,
16.
I was the baby of the band back then.
Well,
And
your mom said
Yeah.
something, Louis. Your mom, I remember you started at wasn't in the beginning, of course, but at a point you started to stray away, and you told me that your mom had said something like, you may not have told me personally, you may have told the band. Your mom said to be careful because of drugs and stuff. And I know I was in the beginning of my true abyss. And when I say my true abyss, I had just started with cocaine, and I was really horrible with it. I didn't know
that
how
was
bad I
like,
was.
yeah, that was like in the mid 80s. You know what I'm saying? Because even I got it. I remember I was still with the band though, but I got into the drug trade. And,
I remember that because you used to bring
there
us
was
some
a
good
lot of
stuff.
cocaine. There was a lot of cocaine, and there was a lot of sniffing,
Yes.
a lot of fucking sucking.
Yeah.
Well, don't leave the weed out now. Come on now.
What?
Don't
Yo,
leave
I
the
ain't forget
weed
about the
out.
weed,
That's
yo.
right. Don't leave the weed
Remember,
out.
Ron had a
Homegrown
little
plant.
tree in his house, in his living room.
You motherfucking real. That's right. And I remember.
That's right.
I
That's
would set
right.
up my
Sure did.
drums.
He had a full tree in his house.
That's right. And I
But-
would set up my drums, and the tree would be right in the corner, right behind me.
Yes.
And we would go on break, and Ron be like, "Yo, Lou, pass me one of them buds." I just reach right behind me, pull the bud
But
right
see,
up,
for me
and we would
though,
roll that shit up in brown paper bags. Sometimes if we ain't have no bamboo, and smoke that motherfucker right up. There was a time where I came over one time at one of our rehearsals when I was working at the drug spot in Manhattan, and I came over with like a 8-ball or something, man.
you had them fish scales,
Yeah.
son.
Everybody took a hit off of that shit. Yo, we couldn't even count down in the beginning when you do that. 1, 2, 3, and everybody was frozen.
Now look,
Nobody said shit.
I don't
all you
know.
saw moving was the chins. That's all you saw.
I don't know if y'all remember this. I'm gonna ask y'all this, and this is
kid.
talking about your personal life. Do y'all remember? It was like Halloween. I know it because my birthday is always the day after. We got some angel dust and say we wanted to play jacked up, right? So we go get the dust. We come back and get nice, and of course we like, I don't feel nothing. We march down to go tell the guy that the shit ain't working. It's whack, whatever he sold us. And we're about 10 feet away from the guy. And I say, wait, I feel it. It just hit. Y'all feel it? And
Nah, I don't remember that.
upstairs.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I was there for that.
note.
Yo.
It was like 1, 2, 3. Y'all remember that?
Nah, I don't.
Oh,
I don't know if I was there for that.
I don't think I was there for that either.
The early years, the very early years, all I know is that we used to just get bugged up. But we played our
we played though.
off.
Yeah, no
Saturday, Sunday, we would practice sometimes. Practice was at 2:00. And we would practice from 2:00 all the way to like 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I got a message for y'all. I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to this real quick. Can y'all hear this? Hold on.
Oh shit.
Listen up.
That's right. That's it right there. Cost about $40. That's 40 right here. It's 40 right here. And he said we can go get a speaker next week. And that'll be finished. We won't even have to worry about it. That's for everybody. Y'all break mine when we put chatting. We got the speaker for that right there. Me and D can go over there. Okay? That means you and Chuck. And if we're gonna have, we will have to go over there or something. Because if we're gonna do any kind of backup, we need mics. You know? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though, man. We gotta pay. We gotta work, man. We pay dues every week. Check this out, man. Get this speaker. For the column, right? If you put that in there, then that speaker don't have no. That's the app right there. That little thing box is good enough, man. Wait a minute, you don't understand what I'm saying. You talking about getting this?
I played that, guys, because it's like having an opportunity to be in touch with the person, that one missing element, that one person that was really part of the nucleus of what we did, you know, regardless of what version of the band was. You know, Ron was always up to something. Most of the times it was really just innovative and a desire for it to be better or more. Sometimes it was a little questionable, I must admit, but he was that one person that really was instrumental with bringing us together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was driven. I mean, he wanted to try to accomplish something musically.
Yeah.
That was always his goal and his dream.
Yeah, that was always his goal. Hard.
Yeah.
He was really driven because he looking to be that next whoever. No matter what the name of the band is, he wanted it to happen. You know, to become the next Earth, Wind and Fire or the next Parliament Funkadelic or something.
Right,
you know,
no doubt.
But he wanted to become the next whatever group to shine out there. And there was a lot of groups out there, a lot. So the competition was fierce. But the thing is, you got just as many of very, very good groups that never got a chance to get absolutely
thousands of groups. Countless, man. And,
you know, there's a lot that we have. This is what I got.
I got much more than that.
What's that, cassette tapes?
2 suitcases worth of cassette tapes, a handful of pictures of our history, live performances in the studio, intensive sound on 30th Street, in the apartment, on I don't know about the rooftop, But, you know, and I have to, you know, in some ways I have to apologize to y'all. I have to apologize. And what I'm apologizing for is, even though I know it was a learning curve in certain points for all of us, man, if I had to scrutinize me, not y'all, but scrutinize me, some of them rehearsals was like, what? I couldn't believe me, but it was a growth process for me from a musical writing perspective and a musical vocal arranging perspective. Because I'm like, yo, if there's one regret I had, that would be that we did not have a sound man, because I was killing myself trying to keep up with instruments, and it was almost impossible. You know, I mean, the Earth, when I got that Earth speaker, that was helpful, but still, it wasn't about having a bigger, powerful speaker. It was about creating a balance, and that was something I didn't know what I didn't know. And because I really wasn't really writing the way I
realized that I was an intricate part of this band. I had definite say in what would or would not happen. The other members did too, but being the vocalist, you know, most groups you cater to the vocalist unless you're a hired vocal and you just do what's asked of you. And since that was not my scenario, I just naturally gravitated to the leadership role that I had. We had people such as Dorian Burkett, our rhythm guitar player. He was a core member. So was Easy D, Daryl Morrison, Louie Lou, the drummer, who was also a prominent DJ in hip-hop when hip-hop started. Myself, Sir Charles, and Ron Davis on lead guitar. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to have young men doing something constructive because they wanted to. We rehearsed every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 8 p.m. without fail, and did an assortment of engagements. And to be one of the best bands you've never heard, man, I'm just grateful that I can share this story with you. What about you, Dorian? If you had any regrets, what would there be, if any?
I don't know. See, because that was youthful enthusiasm, and the energy that we had was crude. Nobody really was knowledgeable or set about trying to learn the correct atmosphere or the
nuances, the right proper nuances.
Yeah, right.
I got you.
You know, that was just raw energy, and we just rode off of that.
Yeah.
It's like, as we got, speaking for myself, as I got older, I started refining shit and developing a sense of purpose and how to go about things. Actually trying to learn how to be
a better musician.
Yeah.
A better musician.
Okay.
Exactly.
And let me give you some more props, Dorian, man, because I listened to some tapes very most recently. Now, this is 40 years later. And I'm not really realizing how much more you had to offer, because when I listened to you at some of those rehearsals, singing background, with or without a microphone, you was on point, brother. And not only that,
I appreciate that.
And not only that, the way you play rhythm was so rhythmic. Now it may sound dumb, but it was just like you had your own style, and it was like, whoa! You didn't get the credit you should have gotten when we were actually playing. And Daryl deserves and Louis deserves all the focus that they got, and maybe even more. But I believe you deserve more as well.
I don't know. I think Daryl carried the band really.
Okay, I received that.
Daryl had a very, talk about rhythm, a very rhythmic approach, and he filled up a lot of space.
Oh hell
with what he was doing.
Hell yes.
That's why I said Daryl. When I listen to
We didn't go
Daryl, I
about
have to
trying
give
to
him.
learn the rudiments and how to apply music in a scientific way. It was just raw energy.
Look, Dorian, if somebody would have if I had enough money, I would have paid somebody to kick Daryl out the military so he couldn't have went.
Well, God bless you, man. You know I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah,
but that opened the door for Ernie to come in.
Like I said, Daryl, when I stepped in there for you, I said, damn, boy, this is some big shoes I got to fill. The brother is on point.
So, Daryl, if you had any regrets, what would your regrets would be, if you have any?
I don't think I would have any regrets, because like I said, it was all learning for me too, and I enjoyed each and every one of y'all, and everybody had something to contribute to make that major sound. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all. Appreciate what I had to contribute to the band.
No doubt.
It was a
What
blast.
about you, Louis?
Really was. It was a blast, man. And just like Dorian said, it was just pure raw energy, man.
Pure raw
hours and hours. And it's also just a love for music, to be a part of something. It was awesome, man. And we even do our own concert over at the Celebrity Club, I think it was. We all chipped in, rented the spot, and do our own concert, and I still think of that, man, from those days. But regardless of whatever little bit of equipment that we had, we still jam. We made it happen, man.
I remember telling you, Louis, I don't care what the other bands got. I don't care what kind of instruments they got. They don't play like us. They don't sound
But let me
like
tell
us.
you this, man. Louis had a hell of an ear too, because I remember that song that you mentioned in the earlier, the Santana song, Transcendence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Louis helped me with the beginning.
The timing?
Not the timing, the notes and shit.
Okay.
And he was like, you don't hear this? It's like this. And I was playing it wrong, and Louis helped correct that. And I was like, damn.
Ron used to love that. Ron used to love that about me. I just recently started my own band, and I'm the drummer, and I have a bass player. I have 2 guitar players, and I also have a keyboard player who I also initiated him to be my musical director.
Now, what about you, Papa D? What's life like after the free band years? What's life like for you now?
You talking about a lot of years that have passed by. I mean,
Okay.
I've always tried to keep my hand in the music.
Okay.
One thing that I'm really disappointed with is that getting to the stage where I'm in a band now that I have really high hopes of. Everything is like taking form, and we had a booking agent who had set us up with gigs, and then COVID fucking happened and knocked shit out the box. I have confidence with what we're doing, but then everything is on hold.
Okay. What about for you, Daryl? What's life like after the free band years?
Well, it's like, I still do music, so I just do gospel now. I just recently quit my old band because they wouldn't do nothing original. They just want to do
Cover tune,
radio songs. And
okay.
I told them, look, the band can pay for everything by itself if we make our own CDs and go ahead and sell them at the shows.
You're right.
But things didn't work out that way. But I'm still active with my church.
Okay.
And also a quartet group.
Oh,
that,
okay.
Practice with every now and then we'll get together. So
What
I'm
about
still
you?
active, man.
What about you,
I'm still
Ernie? What's life like for you now?
I'm still active. I'm just never going to stop being active. I'll play, you know, and get with whoever that want to, you know, just get down and do something. And,
Right.
Right, till the wheels
you
fall
know,
off,
and
man.
I know.
hard active.
I know. For me, I kind of like this. I put this CD out some time ago, Around the Mic with Sir Charles and Friends, and then I did this one, Everybody Knows. And honestly, I was surprised that, I mean, you want the rewards, but you just don't know how it's going to work out. I was surprised to get royalties from these CDs. It wasn't as big as, you know, you once had starry-eyed hopes when you were a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was the last project was like 9 years ago. And I think I was telling somebody earlier today that I just pulled out my keyboard again and started writing. I can't give it the full focus because I'm a speaker, author, and a trainer. You know, I write books, and I'm going to write another book to go with the current books that I have. But I think music will always be a part of my life in one shape, form, or
What's the genre
fashion.
that you do? R&B?
You know what? I don't even know what you would call it. But it's more. I'm listening to like
Or funk?
I kind of like. I like. You know what I like is soul. I like that soul, neo soul.
Right.
And you know, between 70 to 120 beats per minute. That range. You know, a nice little groove. Give me some Lloyd, some, you know, maybe New Jack Swingish type style. But I was gonna tell everybody, man, look, I know it can't be may not be a regular thing, but I don't have a problem getting on a plane, going to a particular city where you guys could be, and going into a studio and giving it one more shot if it was done the right way. If it was done the right way. I'm just saying, don't get it twisted. I'm down.
I'm not discounting that. That sounds like
I'll do
something
it.
to look forward to.
I'll do it. I'm telling you. I don't have the chops I used to have, but I know my way around.
You actually did it before.
Right.
That's the last time you and I saw each other.
Right.
When Ron was up and around, we actually went to Ron's crib. We met in.
I remember that.
Harlem.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm down because I know how to drop stuff at half a note, a full, you know, measure, whatever the case may be, octave. I know how to work around now, and I know my limitations. It ain't about hitting high notes forever and a day all the time. It's about being smart. What is your top 3, maybe top 5 best performed original songs by the band?
Wow. I think it was the jam for us.
What about you, Louis?
It's been my favorite since day one, and I even still hum the song in my head.
When are you gonna love me?
Nah, man, Attitudes of Mine, bro.
Oh, okay.
That was my jam. I really loved the hell out of that.
I'll
song.
tell a little story about that, but give me another one, Louis. Another song on top of that one.
Octaves Delight.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
that was a fun song.
Delight. I liked
that.
That
Was definitely a fun song.
What? Easy D.
I'm a great fan of Movin Heavy, man, because that bass line was totally awesome, man, and everything else that went along with it. Movin Heavy.
Oh,
give me another one. Give me another one, D.
I like it.
It was a composition by Ron. I don't remember the name. Let me see.
Blue.
My guitar.
The slow joint?
It was.
I like the blue too.
Blue's good, yeah. Oh, Sunshine.
Yeah.
Heavenly sunshine.
Yeah.
Only you can stop the rain. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That song there, I really like.
I always thought that it can be a commercial hit.
Well, you know, it was a long journey with us. Me and him, man. It was a long journey. After a while, I felt like we were Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis because it was such a long journey with us. We played so much together. You know, we became like Siamese twins for a minute. You know, we became almost inseparable. You know, and we just had a long journey. I mean, it was a long journey. It was an experience, but it was a long journey, and I really, in many ways, missed that journey we had. Because, like I said, at one point we became, to me, like a, you know, a Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis team. You know, it was always me and him and somebody that we built the band around us.
Gotcha.
You know, as the years passed, the bands that we built it around us. You know, then to just get in the band, we built the bands around us.
Gotcha.
Because of him, we're here now.
Yep.
All of us talking because
all of us.
Him.
In Africa, there's a saying. It's called Ubuntu. I am because you are. You are because I am.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Yes, sir.
Big up to you for taking the initiative and getting us together and reminiscing and talking about things. I really appreciate this. I really enjoyed this. I hope we can continue this in some form, or at least keep in contact.
Right. Absolutely.
As I said before, when you first mentioned the idea, this to me was a great way of acknowledging and giving Ron the credit for getting us all together, because I think he was the magnet that drew everybody together. Everybody met each other through him, as far as I know.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Daryl?
Well, Ron was always a great friend of mine, you know, on and off the set. You know, we hung out, did a lot of crazy things together. You know, he's like a brother to me. You know, he did me wrong a few times, but I always forgave him. And yeah,
I think we all
he
could
was
say
a
that.
magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I loved him. And, you know, he was like family to me. And really all of y'all, you know, y'all like my brothers, man, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I miss him dearly, man.
Right.
And you know, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you bringing us together, Charles, man. Really do.
I appreciate you guys
You know,
being
it's
here.
good to see y'all guys.
What about you, Lou?
You know.
Yeah, I had a blast, man. First band I ever played with in my life, and you know, Ron was he was my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? He was my brother, and
Yeah.
I had a place where to go to, man. Whenever I cut class, and I go to his house, and it was just all about music, man. And we'd sit down and we drink, smoke, and listen to records, man. We'd be like, yo, we should do this jam, and we should do that jam, you know. And
Oh, yeah.
he was my brother, man.
Yeah.
You know? He was straight up, and to this day, man, just a few months ago, man, you know, I just thought of him again, man, and I wish I could have saw him before he left, man. I cried, man. I cried several times, man. I really loved him, man. That was my brother.
Yeah, Ron was a good comrade, man, a good friend, man, a good music partner. I mean, the direction that he wanted things to go in, and always thinking about a new way or a better way or something the band could do. For me, that was an experience that was one of the first, and it helped actually kind of mold how I would do things from a music perspective moving forward. And I really appreciated that quality in him, and definitely sorely miss it. In so many ways, I wish we could have done even more. So in saying in memory of Ron doing this documentary, I think it's the least we could do just to acknowledge his presence and all that he wanted and what we wanted too. At least we're still going forward and we're still thinking about him. And like, if you take him out the equation, there probably wouldn't be enough. So definitely miss you, Ron, and all the best, man. Still, we'll see you one day.
No doubt.
You know, many of you know us by different names, and we're still around. Some remember the Movin Heavy band, some remember 6D, some remember F.R.E.E., Some remember the crew. Whatever you remember us as, this is for you. Our love's a crazy love. 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 I talk to you. You won't say a word. I beg you. You act like you never heard. What am I to do? Girl, you know I'm crazy about you. You've got me feeling so blue. When you're alone, you want me at home. Then when I'm there, you act like you don't care. You act like you don't care. No love anywhere. Ain't got love to spare. Ooh, our love's a crazy love. Our love's a crazy love. So deep it's driving me wild. Our love's a crazy love. Yeah, our love's a crazy love. Crazy love, baby. This love should be sane. 'Cause baby, I'm still your man. Let's spread our love all over this land. You say you love me. You say that you care. But baby, I can't see your loving. I can't see it anywhere. When you're alone, you want me at home. Then when I'm there, you act like you don't care. You act like you don't care. I can't find love anywhere. No loving to spare. Ooh, our love, a crazy love. Crazy love, baby. Our love's a crazy love. Our love's a crazy love. So deep it's driving me wild. You know, we've had so many people a part of this band, coming and going. But first and foremost, Ronnie, we love you always, man. But giving shout outs to Ernie, Easy D, Papa D, Louie Lou, Joe, Carl, Paradise, Sonny, Coffee, Diane, and so many others. Oh, and on behalf of the F.R.E.E. band, I'm yours truly, Sir Charles Cary.